The old man slowly approached his victim and laughed loudly. Hello, friends. Today I will tell you a very scary story that happened in a house on the outskirts of Avatar World. A girl named Charlotte lives here with her grandfather. They have been left here alone while the girl's parents have long since moved to the city, 1 hour before the tragedy. Before school, Charlotte noticed that something strange was happening with her grandfather. He was talking to emptiness and was very angry. The girl was frightened and tried to find out what had happened, but she didn't understand anything. Charlotte had to travel several hours to get to school. When she returned from school, no one was home. She searched the entire forest, but her grandfather was nowhere to be found. In the evening, a thunderstorm began, and the very upset girl returned home. She waited for her grandfather to come back, and waited for him until late at night, until she fell asleep. She dreamed that her grandfather wanted to warn her about the danger, but he didn't have time, as the alarm clock rang. It turned out he wanted to tell the girl that she needed to leave this house as soon as possible, but she would never know this. After school, she returned home again and started doing her homework. Suddenly, a creak sounded behind the door. She got very scared and slowly went to check what it was. Going out of the house, she saw no one. But when she returned home, there stood a monster, very similar to her grandfather. He started shouting at her. The girl closed her eyes and screamed in horror. After a few seconds, silence fell. The girl opened her eyes, but no one was in front of her anymore. She already thought that she just imagined it from being overworked at school, but on the floor where the monster was standing, there were her grandfather's glasses. Charlotte had a hard time falling asleep. In her dream, she saw her mother standing right next to her bed. "Mom, what happened to Granddad?" "Charlotte, I can't talk to you, but it's not safe to stay in this house," her mom said. The girl asked through tears, "Why did you and Dad abandon us here?" But her mother literally dissolved before her eyes. In the morning, Charlotte decided not to go to school. She quickly started packing her things and getting ready to leave. Suddenly, in the doorway, the girl's grandfather appeared. "Where are you going, granddaughter?" he asked. "Where did you disappear to?" "I was so worried," the girl replied happily. But suddenly the grandfather's eyes turned black and he turned into the same monster from the nightmare. The girl ran out of the house and went to her friend Olivia's house. Charlotte told Olivia about what happened and her friend let her spend the night at her place. At first, the girlfriends were quietly sitting in the kitchen and drinking tea. But suddenly Charlotte saw something outside. It was that monster. The girls ran into another room and locked themselves in. "Charlotte, come out quickly!" the monster shouted. But the girl was very frightened and did not answer. The lights in the house went out, and the monster appeared right in front of the girls. A scream was heard throughout the street. The police arrived at the screams, but no one was in the house. In the room where the girls were hiding from the monster grandfather's glasses were lying. The police searched the entire street near the house but found nothing. Then the police captain decided that it was worth talking to the mother of one of the girls, namely the mother of Charlotte. She could help them in the investigation. When the police told the mother about what had happened, she was horrified. "This can't be!" she exclaimed through tears. "Please tell us everything you know about your daughter," said the policeman. Then the mother told them the whole truth about her father, Charlotte's grandfather. His name is Arnold. In his youth, Arnold was a policeman. But after one of the investigations, he returned home and said that he would never work as a policeman again. Even the young mother of Charlotte, named Amanda, was surprised. "But why did you decide to quit?" asked the future mother of Charlotte. "A terrible situation happened which I never want to talk about again," Arnold answered her. Over time, the girl began to notice strange behavior in her father. But she didn't pay much attention to it, and thought he was just tired. Arnold could be absent from home for several days. And on one of those days, instead of Arnold, the girl saw the same monster that was chasing Charlotte in the doorway. But Amanda didn't have time to blink, and instead of the monster, her father was standing there. She was in shock and was frightened. Despite the fact that Arnold was able to calm her down and convince her that she just imagined it, the girl was afraid of him. Years later, when the mother had a husband and Charlotte was already born, Amanda told Arnold that they were moving. But her father convinced her to leave Charlotte with him, so that he would not be alone in this house. The parents reluctantly agreed and left the girl with her grandfather. After talking to the police, Amanda decided to return to her family home and figure out what was going on. She did not find her grandfather there, and the children were also missing. One night, Amanda woke up with a sense of someone's presence in the room. When she opened her eyes, she was horrified to see the ghostly silhouette of her daughter Charlotte. "Mom, you have to get out of here," whispered Charlotte. "He will be back soon, and then he will take you just like he did with us." "It's my fault. Charlotte, forgive me," Amanda exclaimed in desperation. "Run, Mom! Escape before it's too late!" Charlotte whispered one last time and dissolved into the air. Amanda felt angry and searched the entire house. She found a tattered notebook. It was her father's diary. It turned out that long ago, when little Amanda was seriously ill, the desperate father made a deal with the demon. The demon promised to heal the girl in exchange for the father's own soul. Wanting to save his daughter, the old man agreed to this offer. Amanda shuddered, realizing that the demon had now come for their family. She ran with all her might. Running out of the house, Amanda rushed away through the dark streets. Suddenly, someone called out to her, right behind her. "Hello, daughter," said the demon in the grandfather's body. "Where are the children? What did you do to them?" she cried, trying to hide the fear that gripped her. "They are safe, for now," the demon sneered. "But their fate depends only on you. You must give me your soul to redeem them." "I agree," Amanda said, holding back tears. She disappeared and no one ever saw her again. In the morning, Charlotte and her friend returned to the town. Charlotte's father, named Dave, was overjoyed to see his daughter again. But Amanda was gone. "My mom saved us," the girl said through tears. "What? How did she do that?" Dave asked. "She made a deal with Grandpa and we came back," said Charlotte. "I have to figure this out," the girl's father said. In the morning, Dave stood at the doorstep of the house outside the city. The grandfather, in the form of a monster, was sitting and waiting for Charlotte's father. Dave saw the black eyes and his body trembled. Suddenly, the grandfather became normal and said, "I can no longer contain him. Leave as soon as possible." Dave ran with all his might, but the monster was faster. Many years passed. Charlotte grew up. Now she had a family, a job, and she tried to forget her past. But she often had bad dreams. One day, Charlotte had a normal workday at school. She came home, but her loved ones were gone. Charlotte called her husband and child many times, but there was no answer. Suddenly, she found her grandfather's glasses and understood everything. Charlotte went to the house outside the city. The grandfather had not changed at all, and the house was the same. Suddenly, the old man spoke. "The contract of your mother has expired." "I agree to all your terms," Charlotte shouted. "I'm not offering you anything. I'm just going to help you join them." The grandfather laughed. A scream was heard. The old man and Charlotte disappeared like all the others. When the demon took Charlotte, he led her to his otherworldly kingdom. There, Charlotte met her loved ones, her mother Amanda, her father Dave, and her grandfather. They were imprisoned in a dark dimension and were under the complete control of the supernatural force. Charlotte herself was also under its control. Suddenly, Charlotte heard her mother's voice. "Charlotte, it's time to wake up." The girl jumped out of bed, puzzled by what was happening. When she saw her mom, she ran to her and cried. "Don't worry, daughter, it was just a dream," said Mom. Charlotte's grandfather's glasses were lying on the floor. However, the girl did not pay attention to it and told her mom about her dream. And Mom listened to her very attentively. The next day, the girl went to school, and there was her friend Olivia. The two girls laughed when Charlotte told her friend about her dream yesterday, but whether it was a dream and not reality, the girl will never know. Charlotte zoned out during her classes, realizing that she had actually never seen her grandfather in person. After school, her mom told her that her dad had called and wanted to put aside their differences and meet his granddaughter. How do you think the grandfather will bond with Charlotte?